Alright, let's get this show on the road. Copy the link. Put this over here. Second again, or be last if anyone else likes me today. Well, I need to get a better thumbnail than that. I need to make a standard Iron Horseman community channel thumbnail. Hello, son. Alright, I've got everything pulled up, I'm pretty sure. I've got all the screenshots here. I've got all the responses here. We've got 10 of them. Make sure the microphone's facing me. Hello, East. Hello, Pat. Hello, Kaiser. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna try to get through these in a relatively timely manner. I know we're 3 days late on the actual judging of these, and I'm kind of hungry, so I don't want to lollygag too long, but I'm gonna give a minute for everyone to get in. That's true, but I am gonna be a while doing this if previous judgings are anything to go by. It's also been a while since I've even thought about doing screenshots, so I might be a little rusty myself. We'll see how this goes. I'll give just another couple of minutes. And yeah, there's a secret thing going on that I will reveal if somebody mentions it. But yeah, right. 10 things. Let me make sure we have. Hello, Jacob. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kaiser, you were warning me about this, but it seems to be fine. It's just a PNG. So, for those who don't know what the hell is going on, over the last couple weeks we had a screenshot competition, or as it's been named because of a flub on my part, a virtual photograph competition, within the Iron Horseman Discord server, which you can join in the description below. This is the community channel for that Iron Horseman Discord server, so if you don't know, like, if you're just randomly stumbling across this, that's actually, I'm kind of impressed. Maybe you got here because of the Realist podcast, but probably not. There's another episode of that on the way today. We just recorded it. So, without further ado then, we seem to have some people in the chat. It is 10 past the hour, and I'm going to start looking through screenshots. The first one, screenshots. The prompt was fast or speedy or express service, and they are scored 1 to 10. Are you laughing at me? No. Okay. There are 10 things in which you can get at least 10 points, but nobody ever gets 10 points of the bonus because that would be a lot of work to cram 10 points in. So really, just assume that 90 is the top end. Impact, creativity, construction, composition, content, story, world, relevancy, completeness, and bonus. Completeness is kind of a bonus on its own because it just means you did the submission right. Relevancy is your connection to the prompt, so fast, speedy, or express service, if it's some sort of abstraction of that, as long as you've justified it, I will understand. World is, sort of a believability thing. You don't have like a weird grid section in the background. I'll know it's a train's route, but I can't tell it's a train's route. Story, just self-explanatory. Content is the stuff in the screenshot, so don't use old junk if you can prevent it. Composition is your photographic ability. Construction is how well you built the scenery, how well you put everything together. Creativity is fairly self-explanatory. And of course, impact is basically my reaction when I see these things for the first time. I haven't seen any of these photos for the first time. I only know the name of the first one. That's it. So, with that in mind, the title of the first screenshot is Chicago, Here We Come. Chicago, Here We Come. And I'm going to scroll right down here real quick. That's Ian, that's Conrail, who I stumbled across on Reddit earlier. I know old junk is the greatest, but you know what I mean. Make it, if I can tell it's old junk, you're not doing it right. So I'm going to open this. Ooh, that's pretty. This is pretty. Also, I love the, oh, I thought that was Rio Grande in the background. I was like, it was Santa Fe and Rio Grande. fighting each other. Oh hey, I use this. I use this load. I use these loads on Tolbrand. Some of them, I think. I'll use that trailer on Tolbrand. That's a bonus point. I love this. This is right at the edge of the frame, and I'm not sure if I like it or not. But this sky and background and the reflections on the water is very, very, very pretty. Um, I didn't even know you could get trains to do this. This just goes to show how nice you can make stuff in this game now. It's almost I'm so distracted by the water and the sky. I'm not even paying attention to the fact that this is old 2D grass that just looks a little rough around the edges. And you know what? That's fine. Oh, actually, the tree and the thing frame this up, and that has to be intentional. It looks really pretty. And what is this? Is a barn? I think it'd almost be better if I don't know. Maybe this could have been somewhere else, but it's kind of weird that it's in the middle. It looks like they're both about to crash into it. But yeah, I already know what this is. All right, so as far as the impact goes, oh man, because you made such a freaking pretty screenshot. All right, hold on. I need to get this up. I need to get this up here. Chicago, here we come. Oh wait, I need to do impact before we get into this. Impact, impact, impact. Oh man, I'm looking at this. I love this. If I could do half measures, I know exactly what I would do. You know, we're gonna start off on a good foot here. I'm gonna give it a 9 for impact. It's really, really pretty. It just sucked me in. Maybe that's being generous, but I really like it. Okay, so we need to do the other parts of it. This. Oh, and you know what? I think I can just, can I copy this and paste it here? Ah, yes. Okay, perfect. Such high hopes for this new service called the Super C, the fastest and highest priority freight on the Santa Fe, and supposedly the world. In fact, it can reach destinations LA and Chicago on a dedicated 44-hour schedule. Well, at least that was the plan. It's a little bit strangely worded, but I get what you were going for. In fact, it can reach destinations LA and Chicago on a dedicated 40. Okay, yeah, it's fine. I just didn't expect that. Despite the pretty and scenic backdrop and the promising look at the Super C about to speed past train HHDGN1-26. Oh man, that's you've got some flow here, and then this is like driving off of the road and into a ditch. The service would ultimately fail in the long run, barely lasting as long as the Penn Central merger. I love that as a metric. Not many were willing to pay a higher fare to save an additional 15 hours on TUFC service, so most of these trains would just be a few cars long even on a good day. To hammer home the point, there's even a photo of a Super C with a single F7, a flat car with only one trailer, and a caboose. Hardly plausible to call it economical to run, let alone to push aside every other train on the system for such a measly consist. I don't think there should be a question mark there. Still, it created unique opportunities for photography. It was a unique train, and it usually ran with unique power lash-ups too. This evening, we have a warbonnet painted FP45 with an SD45-2 trailing behind. Sadly, the numbers are too far away to note. Around this period, 1969, nice, you could see flexi vans occasionally added to the consist. Despite it not being a lasting concept, the Super C was and is an interesting period in the Santa Fe's history. Ship and travel, all the way. So that's mostly well written. I like that. That's fairly well put together. I think the only thing that I would change, other than this, because this should be a period, this, you could have just said another freight and included the train designator down in the notes. I think it would have been just as impressive, because it is impressive. And it would have caused less trouble for me reading it. Although apparently I cannot read tonight, so if this is going to be a theme, every reading is going to sound exactly like that. So yeah, let's make some judgments here. So let's do oh wait, let me read everything. Uh in another one of those how the F did I accomplish this moments, I'm genuinely surprised how this turned out. I slightly based this photo I slightly based this on a photo I took from the A&M Monarch Christmas train, or at least the deadhead back home. The rainbow sky was too perfect not to replicate. Truth be told, using the lighting engine in Tane is a pain in the aft end. I had to use the flying cam just right to get the lighting and angle I wanted. Yeah, but you did it. Uh, the content uses JR and RR mods for the locomotives, various DLS, JR, TPR, TF custom freight or custom reskins for the freight train. The Super C itself is comprised of a few custom assets. Thanks, Ryan. A few reskins and a few commissions from Trainsman 54. Other flats and trailers were made by Cloaked Ghost, RR mods, Simulator Train, and Tomb. I forgot what route I used was. I accidentally deleted it when trying to delete cloned route assets. Farm something. I don't know what to say. What else to say here? So squonk. Okay, so creativity. The Super C is not something that's often seen, and replicating a photograph sometimes I give points for, especially in this case because it's not even a photograph of this train. Um, the story, the write up is pretty good. I mean yeah. I mean this is very creative. This is uh you've taken the concept of fast and express service and applied it to a freight train, which doesn't usually happen. And this is a particularly unique freight train. By the way, relevancy, you obviously have a 10. Um, creativity, I think, I think I'm going to give it a 9. I think I'm going to give it a 9. As for construction, you say you didn't build the route, but you did frame up the photo. I know that's in composition. As for putting the consist together and using all the different things, I think your construction is fine. It's not anything to really write home about again because this is a route that previously existed. I think I'll give you a 7. And as for composition, I'm going to give you a 10. I think the bracketing of the photo by these two things, even if it was not intentional, and even if I don't really like it, it does things for the image itself. Maybe it could be shifted over just a little bit, and the 7 is maybe a short change, so a 10 is appropriate. And here's another short change. I'm giving you an 8 for content. Paper stuff, commissions. I understand how they are important and how they are relevant, but I've sort of wanted to make it a habit to dock points for that sort of thing because you have advantages in creating your composition and creating your stuff that no one else has. Which this is sort of to temper against the measure of your skill, which obviously you're very skillful in creating the screenshot itself. Against your just ability to get content. As far as story goes, I'm giving you a 9. It's very well written. There's only a couple little issues in there. And as far as world goes, I mean, there's nothing in this that seems wrong. I'm just going to give it a 10. Maybe. Nah, you know what? It's fine. Completeness. Let me just double check, but I think it was done perfectly fine. This is going to be a hard one to beat. I'm scoring this very highly, and this is a distance shot with just stuff in the back, with nothing in the background. Like, there's not a lot here, and this is going to get a really high score. Um, completeness. Let's see. I mean, I'm just taken in awe by this. Completeness. Yeah, let me just double check. Um, yeah, that's fine. And as for a bonus point, it's 1969, so that's a point. And I like that. I like that doodad. Oh, sorry, it's Be Real time. Um, don't bury them because I need to clean them up. Yeah. Oh, shucks. I didn't respond to this either. Uh, for the love of God. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Everyone bear with me here. We're being real on the screenshots. Um, Be real's a neat thing. Um, okay. Uh, let's do some math real quick. Let's grab a calculator. So 9 plus 9 plus 7 plus 10 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 2. 84? Sounds about right. 40, 50, 70, 84. Yeah, 84. It's a really good score. It's deserving. It's a really pretty screenshot. Okay, on to the next then. Thank you for your submission, Ian. I do not remember if I put in the right. It was right. I used a personal modification of this and around this transform. Okay. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that because put it in your write-up. Title of screenshot: High Speed Service. Okay, and these should be in order now. So this is by eastbound and down 9110. Eastbound and down. I think if I just click to the next one, it should be the right thing. High Speed Service. I like it. I like it. Oh, we get another freight one, and it's Penn Central. So, should I really like it though? I mean, I like it because of the position lights. Why is there a signal here and then a signal there? Is that for the what's going on here? That seems like a strange signal arrangement. This is pretty solid though. I love like how much detail this area has. The signal is making me feel weird, but yeah, this is solid. And I'm not even looking at the train. Once again, sorry. Once again, I'm not focusing on the train, but the train just jumps out at you, you know? It doesn't have the aw, beautiful factor as the previous one. Also, it looks like these cars would not fit under that bridge, but that's just me. That's right in your face. That's what I like about it. And again, I'm going to err on the side of, what am I going to do? What am I going to give this? Hey, dude. What do you think? What do you think I should give this for impact? Because it didn't knock me off my feet, but I do like it a lot. It definitely has that jump out at you aspect. I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8. That's fine. Looks like a placement like this one is out and back. No, that's facing the other way. It's facing, I've seen the lights go out on Broadway. Yeah, the framing is 10 out of 10. That's true. Yeah, I'll give it an 8. Alright, let me copy this in and we'll read. When the lights go down on the Broadway. Sorry. Hang on, just doing some little tidying up around here. If this is about irony, I would love this. Railroad slogans have been used to promote named services, routes, and even their own standards. But one which is unknown is Penn Central's slogan. Penn Scentless, Perfect Chaos, Parked Cars, among a host of other nicknames have been given to PC, but the company did have a slogan. They never printed it on engines or rolling stock like other railroads, instead keeping it hidden. High-speed service was the slogan given to the Penn Central, with train TV25 thundering past as a sign of speedy service. Okay, see, the reporting mark in here worked better than it did in the previous one, mostly because it's a lot shorter. It would ultimately be ironic that despite this touting of speed and efficient service, Penn Central wound up being one of the greatest failures in railroading. Why is railroading capitalized? But this is pretty good, and I love this. Or looking at you, PRR. It could go without the looking at you, PRR, and just leaving this as a capitalized standards would work just as well. Doing it for the sake of irony is pretty good. And I know this isn't necessarily exactly irony, but saying, you know, sort of calling it out for what it is, I like that a lot. And so let me read the notes really quick. because this is a great take on it. I initially wanted to do something with a high-speed train, but given the title, but found out that'd be way too on the nose for the prompt. That's smart. Good thinking. I decided to, rather than go with a literal screenshot of a fast train, go with something a bit more creative. Penn Central did, in fact, have the slogan high-speed service for its existence as a company. I like that you sourced it. There were others I could have chosen, such as Florida East Coast, but found PC to be the ultimate punchline for my submission. The rolling stock is a variety of equipment from the terminal, JR and ARM, Cloak Ghost stuff on the DLS. The route is a private module made by a friend. The Amtrak equipment on the bridge is also by the Oh. Hello there. Did anyone else spot that? Did anyone spot that? Because that's very well hidden. It's also by the terminal. Okay, for content, I'm going to give it a 9. For relevancy, I'm giving it a 10. This is a great take on it. For world, I am going to give it a... Here's the thing. We're in the Penn Central era, and none of these are red eyes. Not a single one. I don't know how common that was exactly, but I was led to believe that the red eyes became fairly common by the end of it. Or by this era, at least. By the end of the Pensy, anyway. Just the signal is the only thing that's really throwing me off. Otherwise, yeah, this is a great shot, very well put together. I'm gonna give it a 9. Construction, I'm once again going to give, or what did I gave it an 8 last time, right? No, I gave it 7. Well, there's more here, so I'm going to give it an 8. Creativity. Yeah, this is... Okay, so... While this subject matter specifically may not be the most creative thing in the world, the subject matter in context, I think, is deserving of a 10. Because it's something that I certainly wouldn't have seen coming, and it's something that yeah, I don't think anyone expected Penn Central in this screenshot competition given the prompt. The composition also is... The composition's pretty deserving of a 10. Actually, there's only one thing that's off here, and it's this. The wires are a little bit too much, and this is right in the way. I'm not sure how necessarily you would have fixed that. Maybe by just doing some adjustments to the route before putting this screenshot together. But if you moved this maybe over here so it didn't look like it was sticking out of the roof of the cab, and then just got rid of this, that might have helped a little bit. I'll give it a 9. The story isn't as... well, I don't really want to be comparative here. But it's pretty sweet and to the point. It's pretty sweet and to the point. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna give it a... I guess I'll give it a 9. Yeah. It's good. It's well written. I mean... completeness, I believe the prompt was done correctly. Who the hell is in this? Who's Anonymous Llama? Let me just make sure this is done. Everything is done. So, completeness, 10. And for the shout out to me, for the shout out to the Pensy, I'll do that. And for PLs. Should I give a point to that sneaky Amtrak train nobody would have noticed? I kind of want to, because I didn't even realize it was there until they made mention of it. What does this look like for a score? 8 plus 10 plus 8 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 10 plus 10 plus 3. Okay, it's an 85. Oops, 85. 8 plus 10 plus 8 plus 9 plus 20 plus 3. Yeah, it's 85. Okay, just want to make sure. It turned out really good. I like it. I think the fun thing about these screenshot competitions in particular is, fun fact, the red eyes on position lights were known as cat eyes. Interesting. Um, the, yeah, so I want everyone to make sure that they remember, and I'm sort of saying this for myself as well. This is not judging screenshots against each other necessarily. Yes, there will be a winner at the end of this, but if I wanted to judge screenshots against one another, I would have thrown them all in a thread and said vote. This is all about like just goodness of screenshots um, on their own. With screen signals are set up was intentional. I mean, I can believe it. It's just a little bit weird. It's throwing me off. I don't know why. Um, they do look like cat eyes. They look like you know, when you shine a light at something. Okay. I'm gonna boop this down to the next page, and we'll go on to number 3. We're making really good time here. We're not lingering too long, and I appreciate these submissions. Thank you, Eastbound and Down. Oh, and I can delete these as I go through. Yes. Yes. The next one is One Last Ride, which is an alternate title for a Hamilton song. It's by Kaiser. Hi, Kaiser. Okay, this is the one you said wouldn't open right. Let's take a look at it. You guys ready? Let's see if it opens right. Ooh, that building is imposing. Okay. This stock is rough. Why is it so square? I mean, of course, we've got Kaiser's big wheel. This building, I used this building on Tolbrand. This is imposing. Even if it's not like a super detailed screenshot, the fact that the camera being positioned on the ground, looking up at everything, there's something to be said about that. And I love the smokestacks towering over everything, although the spacing of them is a little weird. I'd love like a zoomed out picture of what this looks like if this is the only like section that looks any good. But if it is the way, if that is the way it is, then you know, at least this was a route built specifically for this. It's broad gauge. No way, Kaiser. I would have never expected it to be broad gauge. Oh, it's the last day of the broad gauge? Oh. I want to say something really insensitive about, like, getting out the party crackers, etc., but I don't actually hate broad gauge. The date is May 23rd, 1892. Today is the last day of the broad gauge. One dying breath. The Great Western Railway's Lord of the Isles pulls solemnly out of the station platform, past the towering factories with their billowing stacks. It is their last ride, one last express to London. Okay. I would break this up a little bit, probably a period there. Probably quotations around Lord of the Isles. And the one dying breath, last ride, one last express, last day. Yeah, I would try to consolidate the lasts. Or try to use some synonyms like final, you know. Because tomorrow she will not run, but Stevenson's gauge will. But that is tomorrow, this today. This is one last hurrah, one last ride for old time's sake. I'm not sure. This needs to be adjusted, I think. It could... I get where you're going for here. It's almost poetry. In fact, this could probably be rearranged into a pretty good poem. Great West... The date is May 23rd, 1892. Today is the last day of the broad gauge, one last dying breath. The Great Western Railway's Lord of the Isles pulls solemnly out of the station platform past the towering factories with their billowing stacks. It is her last ride, one last express to London. Because tomorrow she will not run, but Stevenson gauge will. But that is tomorrow, this today, this is one last hurrah. One last ride for old time's sake. Yeah, these are... You need to break up these sentences, but I get what you're going for. Um, let's go through the... let's go through this. This is my first submission to any of these screenshot competitions. I know I will not do well as it is my first time and I'm still quite new to the system used in Tane, but I did my best. Respect. I thought outside the box for this prompt for a fast speedy express service. This as my first entry shows your average DWR single on our last run is an express train, albeit just starting out and not at speed. Though the prompt never said it had to be at speed, only that it had to be a speedy express, which the GWR singles were. They sure were, at least for the standards of the 1890s. Also, I also thought outside the box in the way that I chose to use the broad gauge instead of standard, though to be honest, the models could use some work there, but they're all I really had on hand. Yeah, no, they sure could. The broad gauge could use some love. I'm not going to be mean to it. As far as impact goes, I don't really know what to say on this. I should have gone over it first. I kind of want to give it like a 7. Because everything's sort of, you know, you've got to tweak the sort of contrast and things. It's all sort of samey in terms of color, or in terms of shade rather. And the sky looks pretty cool, and I like how it's the, you know, slight gray Victorian sky sort of deal. But I feel like you could have done more with the atmosphere to give it a greater impact. And I'm going to say this multiple times through this. I don't want you to get discouraged. You know, it is still a pretty shot. And I will assume that you put together this set, which in and of itself I like. So give it a 7 for impact. Creativity, yeah, you took the broad gauge. It is still an express passenger train. The framing of the shot is pretty nice. You don't get too many you don't get too many like human level, and you definitely don't get too many like ground level at this sort of distance. With the rails in the front of the building in the back, I think it's pretty well composed. But as far as creativity goes, yeah, I mean it's definitely unusual. I think it's definitely deserving of at least like an 8. There could have been more that went into this, I think. Just in terms of the scenery, and that's where construction comes in. I think you could have done more with, you know, like adding a platform in the background for these doors, adding like some, you know, you're at ground level. Take advantage of that. Put some ground scatter, some barrels, some you know, maybe if not some grass, although you might have some patchy grass. You might want to have some small building in the foreground, or even like stand this thing on a platform, you know, that sort of thing. I feel like you could have done more with that. There's just not a lot in this screenshot. You don't necessarily need a lot to do a lot with, but considering the panorama of your camera, I feel like you could have taken advantage of this space a little bit more. Is all I'm saying. I think with that in mind, I don't want to be mean, but I'm gonna probably give construction. You know what? I'll give it a 7. Maybe that's being a little generous, but if we dip down as far as a 6, I feel like I'm saying it's poorly constructed, which it's not. It's just simple. Composition, though, I like the way it's shot. I like the way it's framed. I don't feel wrong giving an 8 for composition here. Content, yeah, stuff's a little rough around the edges. Could have used more stuff. Stringing the buildings together to make a larger building is a good thing to do. Yeah. I mean, it's the best you've got. I might have gone with some more detailed rail splines in the foreground because, I mean, let's face it, nobody was going to be able to tell if this was broad gauge or not. So, yeah, as far as content goes, I'll give it a 7. Although these, I mean, it's not like it looks bad. It's just old, you know? Um, and most of my concern isn't on the train itself. As far as the story goes, it needs some work. Um, it does need to be gone over with a fine-tooth comb to get rid of the run-ons and the repetition. I like what you're doing, though, because previously we had a screenshot competition that was like end of an era, and this would fit in both. Um, that doesn't help your relevancy, which I'm still going to give a 10. Uh, but you know, it's something that I like the story. Like the previous two a little bit, the story does sort of complete the picture, although less so. It gives a different angle to the picture, and for that reason, it's you know, it's a nice addition to the thing instead of trying to explain what the thing is. Um, that said, it was a little bit difficult to get through, so I'm going to have to give it a 6. Uh, World, you need... I keep looking at this screenshot. I can look at this one. You need a dog in front of these. You need something else here. It's just empty. It feels like a set. Um, what is going on back there? Good lord, good lord, what's happening in there? What's back there? What am I looking at? There's something back there. It's like a industrial ramp or something. World. I'll give it a 7. I feel like that's generous. The prompt was complete though, so that you get a 10 there. And I'm gonna give a bonus for going out and doing broad gauge, because it's pretty ballsy to make that to you're following the passion of your love for broad gauge, and I totally respect that. You know, it didn't, you know, it meant you had to use these crusty old models and stuff like that, but that doesn't matter, man. You did what you wanted to do, and that's important. So I'm actually going to give a second bonus point because I used this building. So let's do some math. 7 plus, oops. 7 plus 8 plus 7 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 7 plus 10 plus 10 plus 2. So 72. It's pretty respectable. Take that home. Okay. Does this all fit on one page? Nope, so I'm going to break it. Right there. Yeah, no, I understand, Potato PC. Mr. Blue Sky was found dead in Kensington. It's it's the station platform mentioned in the story. I couldn't even tell, like, it looked like it looked like the ramp for one of the truck loaders that I have on Tolbrand. It's very Shakespearean. Maybe if I had it read to me, I would feel a little different about it. Either way, thank you for your submission, Kaiser. You did great. Next one. The next one is called the Berlin Express. Oh, I wonder who this is. I wonder who this could be. I wonder if there's going to be a train in it, actually. That's always a good question with these. Let's find out. Nope, no train. Oh, there's tracks, though. Okay. Fast, speedy express service. You son of a gun, East. Oh man, did you build this airfield? I'll have to get to that. Nope, didn't see that. I didn't see that. I was prepared, but I was not prepared. I was prepared for something. I was not prepared for an airfield with planes in it. The C-47 model is old and low poly, but it doesn't look bad. However, when you stand it up next to this truck, which is like meticulously weathered, It looks like a piece of plastic. Um, I don't know what else to say about this. I like that there's just a puddle. Um, is that it's probably a shell crater or something. I'll bet that's a shell crater. Um, Hold on, let me look around really quick. Let me just make sure I'm not missing any trains. No, over there, no, no trains. Okay, we got track. Alright, son of a gun. Darn kid. Okay. Can I not give this a 10 for impact? I don't even feel like it necessarily deserves it, but you built an airfield and put it in a trains screenshot competition. Uh, I'm giving you 10s out of spite, okay? Um, let me let me get. I'm sorry, baby. Um, yes, although I am gonna have to have you open it and look in Task Manager to see where the bottleneck is, so I know what I need to replace in your computer. Most importantly, um, yeah, not right now, darling. Okay. The year is 1948, and the Soviets, why no capital, have just cut off, which should be two words, Berlin from Allied support, such as food and construction materials. All right, Soviets and Allied should probably also be um, capitalized. Here we see several C-47s at Tempelhof Field unloading goods for the people of Berlin. Oh, they're unloading. Off to the left is a yet unpatched crater. I knew it. Behind it are some tents set up by the U.S. for extra storage space. This airlift will soon become known as the Berlin Airlift, an express service to get goods such as food to the people of Berlin. Yeah, okay. I just had to nitpick your capitalization. That's all I've got. Otherwise, it's just, it's perfectly written, you son of a gun. Uh, I guess that makes me a gun. Was it ever actually called the Berlin Express? Hold on. This screenshot uses a couple reskins for my other assets, and I did the whole scene in about an hour because I won't have access to trains again before the competition ends. This was based off two real pictures. Why didn't these work? Hold on, let's go see the real pictures. Here's one. Oh, I should have hit paste and go. Okay, I see it. I see it. That's great. Um, there's no shell crater. This is historically inaccurate. Oh wait, if I do that, it should do, and so therefore this should do. Um, is this not just a... Oh, it's not just a crop, it's a different photo. Okay. That's cool. Those are such cool photos. Title was inspired by the P-51 Berlin Express, which was dogfighting a Bf-109, chasing the 109 under the... I'm fixing that one. It's a cool story if you look into it. I feel like I actually have heard that one before. Anyway. 1-0. As far as construction goes, I mean, I don't know how many tall buildings would have been around here. Stop doing that. Didn't see that. Didn't see that. Didn't see the Polar Express or whatever that was. But, I mean, this scene is very well put together. The only thing that's missing is, like, some variation in the sky or lighting. It's just got very flat lighting. But that's not a construction thing. That's a composition thing. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, wait, that was in the photos, wasn't it? Where it's spotty. I can't find anything wrong with it is my issue. I can't, like, I can't find I can't find any reason to dock you points. Issa's going to run away with it on a thing that doesn't have trains in it. He was right. He said this is going to be the one that breaks me, and he's right. Construction. I mean, this is like, what's wrong with this? There's nothing wrong with this. This, you know, it's just... I mean, why did they put up a fence around the crater? Actually, this church wasn't... This is not historically accurate for Germany. No, this is friggin'... This is... What are these guys doing? Obligatory people lollygagging? Yeah, okay. Sure, have a 10. Composition. You need... I'm going to take points because... I don't know, I'll find a reason. Give me a second. Well, I did mention, in seriousness, I did mention about how there doesn't seem to really be anything interesting going on with the lighting. It's just a regular blue sky. Maybe you could have gone with a gray sky to sort of symbolize this is a dire time, you know? I don't know, and you have so much empty space on this side of the photo. That's the other thing. That's the only other thing that I feel like is that's a genuine complaint. Like there's nothing out here. I would have maybe canted the camera a little bit to the right, and just seen if I could, if you could work with that, because then you wouldn't have the dome here getting cut off. Either way, it's you threw this together in a really short span of time, and you've got 3 10s out of it. I'm gonna give you an 8 for composition, which might even be generous, but I don't feel like it is. I'm gonna have 8 for a story. Or sorry, wait, content comes first. 8 for a story though. So content. Is this building, because this seems pretty accurate, is this just available in trains? This whole giant building? I mean, otherwise it's made with not too many assets, and I like the scatter. I like the scatter of stuff that's placed around. I mean, these things and the crate just seems so fake. These crates are humongous. These are not human-sized crates. That's the issue. I mean, I think I'm going to give a 9 for content, but there's nothing really wrong here. It's just you have gigantic crates. World. The crates are... this doesn't seem like a realistic scenario to me. I don't know if, yeah, It's a 10. It's a 10. I mean, it's a 9 because the crates are humongous, but otherwise it's a 10. I don't know if there are smaller crates, but it took me a minute to sort of realize what was throwing me off here, and it's because, like, okay, so here you go. Here are, like, normal-sized pallets of stuff. But look at this. You can't fit that in the plane. It's bigger than the door. Relevancy... 10. Completeness. Let's just make sure on this. Yep. 10. And a bonus. A bonus for driving me completely insane and making a screenshot without a train in a train's screenshot competition. I award you 1 point. The bomb crater is a 2nd point, because that was neat. That was cool. Okay, let's look at this freaking score. 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 10 plus 2. 86. 86. He's in the lead. I did everything I could. What is to be there in an airfield? Yeah, I know. What about more reskins? Oh, did you... Oh, you had to reskin... Oh, that's right, yeah. Well, I haven't given points for it to... You know what? That's fair. Hold on. I give a point for the reskins here, and that means I need to give a point for the reskins up here. because this was specifically called out in here. So this is 85. Oh, that's an 8. That's 85. And then this is now 87. That's a good point. Thank you for reminding me. I know they were very large, but they needed to fit into the planes still. I will dock. I'm trying to make this competitive, and now where East comes in here with a World War II image, and friggin' and just runs away with it. Okay, uh, dock points. If you want, you can run your own damn screenshot competition with blackjack and hookers. Okay. Um. I am surprised no one has said anything about the secret thing. There's something going on that no one's called out yet. Give him 0 points. No train. Yeah, well, that's what people have been saying it. Saying it? Yeah. A limited. A limited. Okay. Oh man, now I want to go back and give another point for the Berlin Express name. I'm not doing it. A limited. It's already 8 o'clock. I'm hungry. Scroll down here. Oh, here's KS1. Eastrail, I want to pay you for that screenshot. Buy trading cards. Absolutely. So, yeah, trains as a teaching tool. A limited. Let's see. So it's not the Polar Express. What is that little thing? It's so cute. I like snow. I like the snow. I did think it was the Polar Express. I was half expecting a Polar Express entry to the screenshot competition because it's November. This does not jump out at me very much. It doesn't have as much of a gut punch as some of the other ones do, but it's still a very nice screenshot. I appreciate using the dead trees and then the pine trees. Maybe this could have taken up a little bit less of the screen. What's going on here? You've got a little 440, and then 630. Oh my god, it's 630! In this sort of alpine area. I very much like it. I might have even sunken the track in a little bit more so that you have just the rails visible. But yeah, this is pretty solid, and I like the trestle in the background there. Ski Lodge, I think I know what this asset is. I think I recognize it. What's going on back there? Looks like there's like a sawtooth mill in the background. I don't know if that's an artifact or what. Yeah. I don't know, it just didn't I'm hesitant to once I know I made a thing that really works. Okay, so let me copy this and put it in. Maybe it's because, you know, I'm gonna give a 7 here for impact, which feels generous, but I am being generous because I accidentally scrolled over to it twice and it might have robbed me of, whoa, this is a lot. It might have robbed me of some of the impact, so I'm giving some extra point there. Hang on tight back and be ready back there, Taylor. We're gonna have to give it everything we've got tonight if we're gonna get there. You think you can handle it? Braden called back to his partner as they started onto the mountain grade, and he soon got his answer. I think so, but don't worry about me, I'll be fine. You just focus on getting us there. Alright, if you're sure. Just let me know if anything goes wrong. I don't know what to do if you get hurt. You're missing a punctuation, was Braden's reply. It had been rough for the last 24 hours as a snowstorm struck the line the night before and was still hammering the area in the morning. The morning had been somewhere calm, aside from the sound of swearing from the yard. However, by the time evening had rolled in, the calm had long since departed. The evening limited was due and almost ready to roll, with coaches at the platform waiting for the highball. But what of the engine to pull the train. Jordan, who had been mean to pull the train, had derailed due to a frozen switch. As work started to get him back on the rails, it was already known that they wouldn't be able to get him back on in time. The helm was on, and they quickly looked for an available engine that could pull the train, to which they found one, Taylor. She was soon coupled to the front of the Limited. Even though she was underpowered for the train, she could still pull it, and it wouldn't matter in the areas where it needed to matter. She set off on time and began to make her way through the snow-covered landscape, making good time. That was until she reached Mayfield, the base of the mountain grade, where she had to make a scheduled stop. Once there, she and her crew knew that they wouldn't have been able to make the hills on their own, and were wondering if they would have to do so. The details were still being worked out, even when they had left. Thankfully, they wouldn't have to take on the grades alone, as in the yard on the ready track stood ready to go Braden. He moved over the switches and coupled on in front of his partner, ready to go. It was only then that they were told they would have to run at restricted speed for halfway up the grade. The pressure was on as they set off toward the mountains. By the time they reached where a photographer was standing at the start of the grade, they were running as fast as they were allowed to run, and from that sound of things that night, they were going to be on time. I like the story, but it needs work. I know that, like, when you're entering in the form, I don't think it has any of the spell check or anything like that. I would recommend writing it out in a word processor first and seeing if anything comes up like this, where this should be were all 3 times. But also it needs to be broken up with some periods, some run-on sentences, need to be adjusted. Wrong your. If anything goes wrong, let me know if anything goes wrong. Probably a period. I don't know what I'd do if you got hurt. But I understand how, you know, you can make these mistakes when you're just punching it into the form. So this is a great story. I like it. Only issues being that it's a little bit too wordy. I feel like you could cut out a lot of details here. You don't necessarily need to give all the backstory to the situation with Taylor having to pull this train. But yeah, I don't know. You went too hard with it. Otherwise I think it's great. I mean, I love a good story, like a genuine, like, slice of the moment sort of story as a screenshot basis. Because this sort of like Kaiser's, the screenshot speaks for itself, you know. It's an express passenger train, you can tell that, but it's got a double header on it. Why is that? And then this fills you in, but sometimes brevity is the better part of wit. I feel like you could cut down some things here and make this, you know, 3/4 the length and make it flow a little better, by just getting rid of details that you don't necessarily need to know. However, route is Rollins Pass. Oh, that's free now? Oh wait, I think I had that route a while ago. The rolling stock uses K&L 630, K&L PS4 passenger car, semi-reskinned freeware coaches that came with the route, along with the reskin of Central of Georgia, 349. Hopes to doing some more screenshot competitions soon. Thank you for your submission. As far as creativity goes, I mean, props for making a whole backstory, and cobbling this together. I mean, it's not necessarily usual that the trains run on time. It's kind of interesting seeing, you know, southern locomotives, southern coaches, and such in this landscape, which I knew immediately was not Georgia, partially because of, you know, all the snow on the ground, or the South in general. But I still props. I mean, you did pull something together, and I like it. It's very cool. For creativity, I think I'll give this an 8, and that is boosted because of the elaborate story. As far as construction goes, it's Rollins Pass. So I can't really... I'll just give you a standard 7. I don't... You know, I feel like you could have tweaked this. It's nice. You picked a good spot for it. You picked a good sort of everything. I know that's in composition more than not, but yeah, it's just one of those things. Um, yeah, as far as composition goes, I think this is a very well composed shot. In fact, I'm going to give it a 9 because the only thing that I don't like is the tree branches coming out in front. I wish you had just scooted the camera a little bit to the right because it's getting in front of your subject. As far as content goes, there is some payware in there. Um, I think, I mean, K&L is fairly accessible payware. It's not like you're using private content. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I I'm hesitant to give this certainly a 9 or above. I think I'll give it an 8, and that feels generous. As far as the story goes, it's a good story. It needs some work. I'll give it a 7. And as far as world goes, I don't necessarily buy. I don't necessarily buy the scenario. Otherwise, it's the world is fine. It's Rollins Pass. Um, I don't think I necessarily buy the scenario. I don't think they would stick this. I find it difficult to believe that a 440 was the only thing available, and that they wouldn't just delay the train because this is a lot of train for a 440. Like, this is what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 probably heavyweights. That is, you're asking a lot of that locomotive, especially in this locale. I'm not sure what it's intended to be, but someplace snowy. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll still give you an 8 for world. Um, Relevancy. It's a 10. I mean, it's an express train. Completeness, I'm pretty sure this is also a 10. I don't know why I hesitated there. Um, and as far as bonus points go, I mean, for doing the story, I'm going to give you an extra point. And of course, the reskin is another point. Also, I'm going to give a point because it's Rollins Pass. Rollins Pass is a very, very interesting piece of infrastructure and history. And the route itself is pretty cool. So, I appreciate the submission. You did a great job. Let's do some math. 7 plus 8 plus 7 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 8 plus 10 plus 10 plus 3. 77. I'm getting soft. I'm getting soft. I'm giving people high scores. Okay. Next up. There have been 440s section of alternate universe where Snow Miser and Heat Miser strike a controversial trade agreement and raging NATO. Oh yeah, the title. Well, I'm not giving points for title this time around. There have been 440s taking trains longer than that. I mean, I'm sure there have. It's a lot. It's a lot of train. Especially in the conditions. But I just feel like they would have held the train and gotten the locomotive back on the track. Anyway. Next up. We're halfway through. We're making good time. I keep saying that. Ooh, the horseshoe curve. Hello there. What could this be? Standards? Standards? That sounds like standards. This is Matt, of course. Matt. I'll put the sacrificial dagger away for you next time you visit. Alright, let's see some standards. Ooh, I like that. Oh, this is a famous photo, isn't it? This is a route. This is someone else's route, isn't it, too? This is, what route is this that has horseshoe curve on it? because I need it. I need to go buy it right now. Um, Also, I remember these boxcars from very old versions of trains. I feel like you could have done better with the. Although I get everything's supposed to be PRR, because that was the iconic photo, right? Shark noses, units, J1 back there. It's just so pretty. Like, part of that is just the natural beauty of Horseshoe Curve, but the light fog and just the camera angle and everything like that. I mean, it's framed up perfectly because it's an existing photograph. Um, but I knew it was coming, and I was still blown away. So I'm absolutely. Uh, is this the HSC route in the DLS hold up subdivision? How does this not get a 100? Um, you know what? That's right. Standards automatic 100. That's true. No, impact. Impact. I'm gonna give this one. I love the shadow of the mountain. Stuff's gotten too damn pretty. It's just a postcard. I mean, I'm gonna give it a solid 8. It's a solid 8. It should be a 9, but it's a solid 8. Um, no, it should be a 9. I'm giving it a 9. Creativity. It's Horseshoe Curve. It's the PRR. It's recreating this photo, or the thing on the. What's on the calendar? Okay. Um, Known unanimously throughout the railroading scene, the Horseshoe Curve is one of the most striking examples of engineering ever built on a railroad. That is a real, like, drinking the standard juice statement. Winding around the mountains to gain altitude rapidly, while stupid simple, was extremely effective. It was for these reasons and more that when Griff Teller was deciding on a location to paint for the 1952 Pennsylvania Railroad calendar, he chose the curve. Teller's paintings have always had a somewhat personal connection to me. Up the street where I live, there lives an avid Griff Teller painting collector. He is such a fan because he worked with the man back in the day and grew to be friends with him over a period of time. It is because of this man, Mr. Joe, as I call him, that I have a Teller painting from 1937 hanging over my desk. Whenever I visit his house, he takes me on a tour and shows me all the paintings hanging up around the place, telling me the stories behind them. I remember always being awestruck when seeing the Horseshoe Curve hanging in his house, and wanted to share that feeling of seeing an A-B set of E7s bombing downhill towards Altoona, tailed by a J1 class with a coal drag, and a stalwart trio of sharks pulling a mixed freight up. I feel like that last sentence could have been adjusted. It could use a little bit of touching up for the flow, but yeah, put a page break here, put a paragraph here. Um, but Matt, I know you're never one to format, so yeah, this is fantastic. I love it for that. All right, let's talk about this. Yeah, link to the mentioned painting. I mean, do we even need to look at it? Do we even need to look at it? Yes, we do. Standards, yes. I'm so glad. This is gorgeous. Screenshot is as close a replica as I could do with a realistic version of the curve, as Teller took many creative liberties in his work. Everything from the angle of the shadows to the consist to the general speeds, and even the exact train cars are reproduced from the painting. While an AB set of E7, okay, yeah. This route is a heavily modified version of jointed rails horseshoe curve route, backdated to approximately 1952 when the painting was made. Content use comes from a variety of sources: diesels from train forge, rolling stock from there, the DLS, the coal drag entirely K&L. So I'm going to give you a 9 for the content. So it's not at the same angle. Like the camera is lower in Teller's work, but I think you have actually made it better. I like this better. Um, and as far as composition goes, I'm going to give this a 10. It is, it is great. Actually, am I gonna walk that back because this pokes? You know what? I guess you can't really avoid that. Yeah, I could have shifted a little bit to the right, to the left. Um, construction. You did do work on this route. You did do some serious work to backdate it. It was not yours, and that's why you're not getting a full 10, because obviously if you built this by yourself, that'd be a 10 just automatically. But I'll give it a 9. And as far as creativity goes, I mean, you recreated the photo down to the cars, you know. Um, and yes, it is a or the painting rather. It is a famous painting that you have recreated, and sometimes I do pull down points for that. Um, I'm having a tough time doing it though. It's just so damn pretty. If this was the recreate a famous painting thing, this would get 10 out of 10 on everything. Okay? Uh it's I can't. Oh man. I'm going to give it a 9 because it's, I mean, it's Horseshoe Curve. It's not it's a go-to. It's super duper famous. Um as far as the story goes, yeah, a couple of little adjustments could do it good, but otherwise it's very solid. Um, Stupid simple. Maybe cut that because your tone is very like proper up to that moment, and then it sort of goes off the rails. I feel like this first section, yeah. So this first section could be its own paragraph, then this could be its own paragraph. Um, yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 for the story. As far as world goes, there's only one small issue, and it's not really your fault, but it sticks out to me because it's one of the first things I notice. You can see the edge of the map. That's the issue with doing these kinds of shots with long distances, because I don't want to see where the tile ends, and I know it ends right there. So that's a 9. Um, Relevancy. Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. Nowhere do you say this, like, there's no definite connection here. And the Broadway is sort of a hallmark of that. But if you said somewhere that this was the Broadway Limited, I would be much more on board. As is, you've done an amazing job of recreating this painting, but there aren't firm ties to the prompt. At least not necessarily. I don't know. I'm not gonna dock you like a ton of points. I'm gonna give you a 9 for relevancy. If you had just made one mention of, like, you know, uh, this, you know, you sevens are pulling along past the train, it can be assumed that it's an express. Well, yeah. Um, I think if you had said that, it's true you don't go fast along the curve, but we didn't necessarily say that you had to be fast. Um, Either way, you're running up 9s here. Completeness, I'm pretty sure that's a 10. This is a lesson to make sure you tie it to the prompt if you want full points. This goes for everybody. Bonus points: 1 for the personal connection, 2 for Horseshoe Curve, 3 for standards, 4 for the incredible recreation. Although I sort of gave that, you sort of got 2 points for the same thing. It's so pretty. I could use this as a desktop background. Um, I would give a 5th point because I'm gonna probably get married there someday. Um, 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9 plus 9 plus 10 plus 4. It's an 85. Absolutely gorgeous screenshot. Thank you for your submission. Okay, next up. We've got 4 remaining. The next one is ice cold. What's cooler than being cool, guys? What's cooler than being cool, Bender? Oh, I know what this... Oh, I had a hand in this. I had a hand in this unwittingly. Okay. Let's look at ice cold. Bender, you're as cold as ice. Okay, that's imposing. I was looking down here. I had to look up here. I flipped the screenshot over and I was looking like down into the valley of the horseshoe curve, and then I like had to like take a mental step back and go like, oh, the train's up there. Like, this is pretty. I love the river, the bridge. I've used this. I know what this bridge is. I've used this bridge forever. I like this the crane in the background. Yeah, I love Horseshoe Curve. I didn't want to see it again right this second. It's almost tough to tell that these are 2D trees in the background. I see the Maple Beach Bridge back there. This is pretty good looking grass for being up close. There's a dog! They've got beer! Why are those beer bottles humongous? There's 2 dogs, 3 dogs. That's definitely the only reason I was zooming in. There's 4 dogs! And a Model T! Or Model A or whatever it is. This is a nice reskin. Oh, I like the Oxy. I like the line that goes through the Oxy. I wish there was a little bit more headroom on this photo. That's about it. I wish there was just a little bit more headroom. Berkshire. Okay. Oops. Let me copy this over. I forgot I was supposed to have the... What channel do I have open? Oh, the right channel. I might. I thought it was a different channel. My B. Alright, let's read about this. It's wrong, it's. Off to a good start, but it's okay. It's the tail end of summer, 1949. Johnny served 5 long years in Uncle Sam's army and came back to see his longtime lover, Isabella. Finally able to get started in their relationship, they decided to organize a fishing trip with their families. They came down the river on the morning train, along with their friend Bob, who drove his 32 Ford pickup. Their fathers are decked out in fishing gear, and one even brought some beer to share, which is promptly put in the river to cool. As their dogs play on shore, across the river a work team is firing up. I would say across the way, to not repeat the word river. A work team is finishing up. Their neighbor fishes comfortably in his boat with his dog in a cooler. You need to find a better way to connect those clauses. As their dogs play on shore, as their dogs play on shore, across the way a railroad work team is finishing up, and their neighbor fishes comfortably in his boat with his dog in a cooler. You can actually probably cut out that clause entirely. Sounds echo across the valley and mountains, and there's no argument as to what it is. Coming rushing north across the grade, that cardinal directions don't need to be capitalized, weirdly enough. I learned that way too late. Is one of the Palouse River Valley Railroad's prized fast freight manifests. This carrying 2 of the railway's special Glacier Express ice reefers, destined for Calgary. You could just say destined for Calgary. Destined for Calgary, Canada. Creating a deafening racket as it hits the trestle at nearly 70 miles per hour. Isabella's mother, missing an apostrophe, waves to the engineer, why is mother capitalized, of engine 400, and named for the Martian moon Phobos. You need a semicolon there before it named. I think. Maybe. Either way, it's a weird way to fit in that clause. The PRVR ordered 3 Berkshires from Lima in 1942, largely a copy of the NKPS-1 class for use in speeding up their service. Uh, I'm nitpicking now. You can ignore like half of these. All running with a small auxiliary tender, no train has to stop for water across the entire run from Spokane to Eastport. Johnny, at this time in his life, has to think about his profession and how to support his soon-to-be growing family. Seeing how the railway supports his community, and may have positions for men like him, he thinks long and hard about interviewing with the company. As the sun gets low in the sky, Bob leaves for the farm with his catch, and the Merry Five pack their belongings for the trip back home. One day Johnny is going to pop the question to Isabella, and one day Johnny might be a railroad man. There's no telling what the future holds for the two of them. For Johnny or the Palouse Valley Railway. One day he might just be president. I love that. I love that. I'm gonna throw this an 8 for impact without even thinking. And let's look at this. Route is a Muscanape Valley Railroad, formerly available on CPS, but possibly on the DLS from what I can gather. I had to modify the location slightly to make it look better, and added objects here and there, mainly the figures seen minus the guy in the boat. The ammo crew shovel train deer? Is it deer? Locomotive is the K&L Burke. Cars visible in the screenshot are on the DLS. The aux tender is part of the M&R T5 pack and is payware. The Berkshire aux tender R50B reefer and wagon top boxcars are all reskinned by me. It took a while to get everything just right since I hadn't started it, sooner. I would not have made it without the extension. My thanks go out to Ian and Ryan for help in showing me how to reskin these cars properly. Semicolon, I think they deserve the most thanks. Especially thanks for the fast freight prompt. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Cool! Also, the bikini is a little bit risque for 1949. I don't even think they were invented yet. But what can you do? That'll come up again in World. Creativity. I mean, you did a lot of this yourself. The story is just icing on cake. Fast freight service with the Burke, which, you know, is a little bit more standard. Also, that's a stubby aux tender, by the way. I don't know if that thing could make 70 without hunting all over the place. But I really, really like this, and I'm going to give it a 10. Construction. I'm going to give it a 9 because it's an existing route spiffed up, and it looks pretty damn good. Composition. I wish they had a little bit more headroom, otherwise it's a really well-composed shot. Honestly, I might not even have bothered including this, but it does sort of bookend the photo a little bit. I would shift a little bit to the right and a little bit up. Because this is nice detail, but you can barely see it way over there. It doesn't really make much of a difference. Bikini was invented in 46, really? I didn't realize it was that early. I always thought it was 50s or maybe 60s, but okay, I believe you. Composition. Oh, let's put this back up. Yeah, so composition, I think, deserves at least a solid 8, if not a 9. I'll give it a 9. Your subjects are front and center. Your other subject is front and center. Everything is like in a line which draws your viewpoint up. You know, I know when it's, oh, dog, oh, stuff in the background, oh, more stuff in the background, and then you just like look up and out, and you've got the train. Content. There's a good amount of payware here. Well, the K&L Burke being payware, I'll give it a 9. Story is pretty damn good. A couple of little typos here and there. A couple little adjustments that need to be made. But like I said, the story is icing on cake. And the fact that it doesn't even necessarily talk about the train, solid. World. How did he get his truck over there? How did he get the truck over there? That's it. I mean, you could have put the truck over here. Put the truck over here. But I mean, it would have ruined the like looking up thing. But 70 on this side of bridge. Wow. Wow. Hmm. I'm gonna give it a 9. It's just little things here and there that make me go, hmm. Uh, but otherwise, it's very, very good. Um, Relevancy, there's your fast freight. Completeness, pretty sure this was done perfectly fine. Yep. And as far as bonus points goes, the reskins are a point. Um, Having an aux tender on a fast freight, I don't know if anyone else did that. I haven't necessarily heard of anyone else doing that for a fast freight, so it didn't have to stop, which is a point for you and not against you. I think it's very cool. The whole story and like the idea of what might Johnny become, his coming back after years in the war, and the Maple Beach Birch Spline. Well, actually, you didn't build this route, so um, going whole hog on the details, I think, is another very worthy point. Okay, so um, let's do some math. 8 plus 10 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 10. Oops. Plus 10 plus 10 plus 4. It's an 87. I like this screenshot. The time and effort to make this happen paid off. It's very pretty. Very well done. Thank you, Bender. Yeah. If you think any one of those bonus points are tenuous, which they kind of are, think of the fact that I helped name this express is also a bonus point. Dispatching dilemma at Doug. Uh-oh. Conjunction junction, what's your function? K-Master. Are you gonna bamboozle me again? Because I'll never forget that. Ooh, the sauce is here. Alright, let's see. Let's see conjunction junction, or the clogged up junction, or whatever it is. I'm ready. Ooh, it's portrait mode. Well, these trees are like photorealistic. Why? The trees look too good. The trees look way too good. Um, Doug. I'm glad I can tell what that says. You have a thing with a switch light on it? I don't. This is fun. Okay. I was just confused by portrait mode. This does look like it would be somebody's lock screen. Like, oh, I took this photo. Now I know that this is your railroad and not you're not recreating anything. Yep. I got like 3 to do. Might be done by 9, depending. Okay, so Limu, Emu, and Doug. I make sure I don't forget to give a point for control point Doug because I like that. Oh, and that's gonna take up the whole page. That takes up an entire page. All right, we got to make that smaller. What, baby?
I said, do you want me to make dinner now, or do you want to wait?
You can wait. I'll help you. Ooh, that's a lot of text. Okay. This is why you bamboozled me, because you can just give me these massive backstories that I just assume are real. We're going to have to shrink this to make sure it stays on 2 pages. Oh, let's talk about impact real quick. I literally leaned back so I could get the full picture, and then it was a portrait mode image. So
It was definitely a smoker. I can smell the cigarettes on the bag.
gross. Okay. Impact. It's another one where the train is like punching you in the face, but I think I'm gonna give it a 7. I don't know. It being portrait mode, I, I don't I don't want to feel like I'm docking points for that because it's definitely like an aesthetic and creative choice to make it portrait mode. But it took away from it because I did not expect this, and it didn't end up filling the whole screen. It's just a consequence of geometry, I guess. Um, and the thing is not right in my face so much as the Penn Central train was. Anyway, in the 1890s, the West Virginia Central. This doesn't look like the 1890s. West Virginia Central Railway built a rail line to connect the coal mines in the Elkins, West Virginia area to Cumberland, Maryland, to connect to the Cumberland and Eastern Main Line. That's a little bit of a run-on. I was running into the same thing. I was writing something nonfiction recently, and you want to cram in more details into a sentence, but you end up turning it into something that's very difficult to read in one breath. This was the start of a major construction project to connect other partner roads of the C&E and the coal mines to the main east-west route along with the Port of Baltimore. This section of trackage also included the infamous Black Fork grade and Slutty Fork Pass. Heyo. These sections made the line treacherous, with gradients on Black Fork going over 3% and Salty Fork matching gradients over Saluda grade in North Carolina. This line was slated for abandonment multiple times by multiple corporate administrations, but the estimates for lost revenue were too much. It was realized by the early 70s that the corridor between Chattanooga and Cumberland was not only making enough money to keep it around, but also subsidize money loosing branches. You only want one O there. Thus, the line stayed open and can now see 8 scheduled trains daily, along with 8 to 10 unscheduled trains. In 1987, the Cumberland Eastern started an agreement with Conrail and Norfolk Southern to run Triple Crown Road Railer trains across the C&E system. One of the main routes consisted of 1 to 2 trains weekly in both directions between Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, located between Hagerstown, Maryland, and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Hagerstown being the division point between the lines to Chicago, St. Louis, Chattanooga, and lines going east to Baltimore and Philly/New York/ Boston. Okay, again, you need this Chambersburg was a logistically appropriate place to put the facilities for this project. Okay, that you need to reformat that. To Chattanooga, Tennessee. That is a huge parenthetical. Holy crap! This train and its counterpart both had to take the challenging route between the two hubs and sometimes needed helpers from the high density of traffic. Around 5:30 on a mid-August day in 2004, we see one such road railer train coming in through CP Doug, passing a coal train that had broken a coupler box and got tied up on the siding that goes through the town of Thomas, West Virginia. A northbound Alpha Jet train was supposed to meet this train here, but due to this dilemma, it was held at Elkins, even though it was the highest priority train on the line. The WPC dispatchers in Patter City, Ohio, was not very pleased. A dispatcher in Patter City, Ohio, was not very pleased with the situation. Even more so when he got partial blame for the late bill the jet train got on arrival in Philadelphia. Oh well, life goes on, and he didn't get fired until the wreck he caused in 2006. Okay. The road railer train would glide into Elkins about an hour later, and the photographer chased him all the way down the subdivision from Cumberland, only quitting south of Elkins Junction because the sun had fully set by then. These shots are historically valuable in today's landscape because of the discontinuation of the Chattanooga road railer service in 2015 after the Triple Crown Company's reduction in size. So, this is a lot. And honestly, I talked about some other things being too long. I don't necessarily think this is too long. It just needs more bite-sized sentences. The nonfiction aspect, like, it is a fiction piece, I know that now, but the nonfiction writing sort of style and the need to get all this information across sort of, it does necessitate a lot of these comments but you need to find a way to structure them a little bit better and to make sure that you can get through these sentences without running out of breath. Um, Otherwise, you did a really good job of getting all of this information to provide some background for this photograph. Um, but I find it surprising that you would get a photograph in portrait mode in 2004. Um, oh, it's the baseboard's coming on. I was like, what was that metal thumping noise? Either way, I think this deserves a decent shot at some high scores. And though the impact didn't hit me so firmly, but I do like it. So, took 3 angles along this route I've been working on for a few months. In the process, I accidentally wrecked the head end into the speeder I was using to get screenshots from. Numbers on the lead engine and cars I had to match from prior shots. Route is currently under development between Cumberland and Elkins proper. It depicts the real-life coal main line of the Western Maryland as a fictional main line of the Cumberland at Eastern. Okay. Here we see Doug at the south end of Thomas, West Virginia. Up on the hill in the background is a clearing of trees for a future strip mine. Just above said clearing, you can barely make out the Francis Railroad, which also serves 2 strip mines and a lumber company. About 5 miles up at Francis, with a single Echo S4. I assume that's this sort of gap in the trees here. I like all the background. You're definitely a master of lore, that's for sure. Okay, let's talk scores. Now I'm definitely not going to get done by 9. Oh well, maybe 9:15. Creativity. Just like this got pushed back, everything else would get pushed back. Creativity. Creating the lore definitely matters. Creating the route also matters. I like how many people went with freight service. I thought they were going to be in the minority. And instead, we have this fairly creative integration with real life. Not unlike the previous screenshot in a way. But so much of this being fictitious, including the reason why this coal train is held up, and the whole scenario surrounding this, which honestly has no bearing on the screenshot itself, although I guess this guy would be held. This is a very, very solid piece. I think I'm going to give it a 10. I can see no reason not to. It's standard gauge fast freight, which again I thought would be in the minority, and so I was ready to grade it much higher. But I'm not going to change that now just because this is following up a bunch of other freight-based submissions. Construction, you're building all this. This is great. I would have done a little bit different with the texturing down here. Right now it just looks like you missed a chunk of trees. Put in some stumps. Put in some dirt instead of grass. To sort of indicate this area is being actively worked on and cleared and isn't just you misclicked with splines. Otherwise, I think this signal too close to the switch, or is it just me? I feel like it should be back over here. And this building is sliding off the side of the hill. It's right perched on the edge. That would probably be scooted up. But that's me nitpicking. I appreciate the use of these. I assume you had to use Surveyor 2 to get these posts over in the right place. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, I'm going to give the construction a solid 8. Actually, I'll give it a 9 because there's been so much that's been based from other routes. I don't want this to necessarily sit. I know I don't want to judge them with respect to other routes, but I need to use my own precedents sometimes. Compositionally, this is a very nice shot. In fact, if I do this, I like it even better. It is a portrait mode shot, but honestly, I think that helps it because of the way this all is framed. I just wish the subject was... No, honestly, this is fine. This is pretty good. I like this. I'm gonna... You know what? I'm gonna... Yeah. I don't really see anything wrong with it. I mean, the composition is pretty spot on. Yeah, no, and because the sun, you're getting like the evening light. This is almost golden hour, or it is golden hour. It's nailed it. Um, no statements on the content used. I recognize some of it. Um, I'd like to know where these things came from, but I know this is a personal reskin, obviously. And yeah, I mean, I'll just give it a 9, I guess. I just don't know. Um, story story is very good. Needs some adjustments, but it's definitely got the quantity. Anyway, I like the backstory. I really appreciate that. So you know what? I'll give it a 9. Um, world. The only thing is the sort of issues that I mentioned with the construction earlier. And I feel like by this era, this little speeder shed would be in just dramatic disrepair. Um, this also might want to be a little bit further, so it's not right up behind this. But that's just me thinking it's like a site planner. Maybe that was the only viable location for it. Um, I'll give it a 9. Relevancy. I've run out of water. Relevancy. Um, let me just double check on this because I think it's never. I know that the Triple Crown Road Railer trains were fairly important, uh, but like it's explicit that this guy is not the highest priority. He just is getting to go because of a breakdown. So I am hesitant to give this a 10 on relevancy because you actually specifically mention a high speed, the highest priority, and it's getting held. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to give you an 8. Um, as far as completeness, though, I think you did a really good job. I mean, yeah, that's fine. DD Doug, it's recognizable. It's not perfect, but it's recognizable. It's not the title of the screenshot, so I'm gonna give it a 9. Um, as far as bonus goes, going out and doing the Doug is a point. Going out and doing the portrait mode shot is a point. The immense amount of work that went into the story is a point, and also the custom reskins are a point. Um, that's for sure. And yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it at that. 7 plus 10 plus 9 plus 10 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9 plus 4. It's an 84. It's a good screenshot. Thank you for your submission. All right, we have 2 left, and I'm starving now. Express stop. Express stop, huh? Oh, let me minimize this. Um, I dare you to make your name Master of Lore in the Discord. Um, L Master. L Master. No, nobody wants to be the L Master. Uh-oh, it's Ryan's submission. Is Ryan here anymore, or did he have to leave? Uh, oh no, funny, I mentioned conjunction junction. Oh no, does that have something to do with this? Express stop. Okay, wow, man, the colors. It's so blue, it's so green, it's so yellow, and Southern Pacific. Hold on. I've got other water in a different pineapple. Okay, so huh. This is a cluttered screenshot. I like the grass. Um, man, you can see the age on that poor Blue Comet model. And this poor building. I've used this building before, I'm pretty sure. I kind of recognize it. The tractor load, the classic tractor load. Okay. Oh wait, this isn't... They came in the wrong order. That's not yours. Everything else was in the right order. What the heck? Oh my god! I should have known it wasn't Ryan's. There was no gimmick. There's so much to unpack here. God damn it. There's so much to unpack here. What is this? Oh, it's the Eagle River thing. Penn Central Kodachrome. Baltimore and why are you the only normal person here? Is that a Penn Central Observe vestibule? I feel you, man. Alright. Alright. Let me write down impact for this one really quick. But we'll have to come back to it. It's like a 7. 7 or an 8. I mean, it screams normal screenshot to me. Hold on. Hold on. Let me just put down impact as a 7 down here. Okay. Okay. So. Oh my god. Ryan. You and East. You're getting so many freaking bonus points, I bet. I haven't even thought about it. But you're gonna get... What is going on with this? This is so... Nothing's making this turn. Okay? Nothing. What is this even supposed to say? I can't read it. At 40 pH. With an American... Is this American Orient Express? Oh, I know where this guy is. In real life. Is that the... Okay. 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 At least we got the Bang & Aroostook car. Alright. Sure. PC Kodachrome. I don't freaking believe it. Conjunction Junction exists in a bizarre pocket of our reality. Some days will feature a simple glitch. Maybe a cold freight from Cleveland phases into existence and navigates the harrowing concoction of switches, eventually finding tracks home. Other days, however, are the complete opposite. Any experienced wordsmith and railroader will tell you that a full corruption leads to trains of all types converging on the small but important whistle stop, a confusing sea of equipment from railroads that did exist, do not exist, or never existed in the first place. According to the records, the corruption event that occurred in the photo above was one of the most grandiose. Strasbourg's very own number 31 has the honors of causing the jam in the first place, treading across the various crossovers at a brisk 3 miles per hour. Other trains, witnessing the equivalent of a turtle crossing a highway during rush hour right in front of them, stopped quickly. Highlights include, but are not limited to, a pair of EMD F40PH towing the combined American Orient Express and Capital Limited observation first. Wait, what? Whatever. A Penn Central SD40-2 wearing Kodachrome waits patiently for further instruction from dispatch, who understandably is most likely tearing their hair out. WKNS number 65 and a PRA 5 tag team of boxcar manifest, displaying a gallant show of the power of the little locomotives. No matter which train, which locomotive, and which crew, it's an express stop, surely burning a hole in their timetable. I don't know how, I don't know what I'm going to say when we get to relevance, but it's going to be a lot, okay? Um, Creativity. Yeah, okay. Construction. I will assume you built this. I don't think anyone else would. Is that Gabe? Yeah, that's Gabe with the N button or okay, I see. Um, is this, is there an empty between these two cars? Because string line is going to happen in approximately 3 seconds. Oh my god. And 4. There are so many, like, what's with... I, too, am pulling my hair out. Construction. I don't even know if I can grade this. We should have done this last. I should have just done 844s. That was God. That was F40 above telling me, don't do this screenshot yet. It will end the video. Um, Composition. No, construction. Holy crap. Construction. I have no idea. 23. I don't know. Sure. What the hell's wrong with it? I mean, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. That's the point. I'll give it an effing 10. Why not? Okay, sure. We'll give it a 10. Composition. I almost wish the camera was angled down more. I wish I could see more also, but I know that's beyond the point. You have only one space where you're missing stuff. Why is there no train over here? I mean, I know why. It's because that guy's trying to get through. Add a second track. Add more trains. Like, why limit yourself with the possibilities of space? Why isn't there a second layer of tracks over everything else? I'm giving you a 9. Content. Oh wait, we need to look at the other part of the thing. The screenshot is baloney. I understand that. Oh, okay, I'm sure you do. I just wanted to use some content that I don't normally use. I will take my 7 for world. Everything here is replicable, and the route is accurate to the conjunction junction shown in the Schoolhouse Rock video? It is? We're coming back to this. What's 844's thing called? The Blue Comet. Okay, I'm glad we have a normal one. This is good. We have a normal one. The C&J's Blue Comet passes a stopped freight. Let's look at this. Oops. What the heck? Where did all those extra lines come from? Oh, that's where they came from. Cropped to remove UI, no way to hide it on mobile. Oh, okay. Oh, you did this on mobile. Oh, that explains a lot. Creativity. Well, you managed to figure out how to make it work on mobile. I mean, creativity. It's not the most amazing thing in the world. I mean, it's the Blue Comet and a stopped freight. It's nice. I know you're limited by what you can do on Trains Mobile. That's the way it is. I think I will give it a 7. Yeah, I'll give it a 7. Construction. Honestly, for Trains Mobile, this is really good. The assets are a little crusty, so I'm going to have to give you like an 8 for content, but I know that's the best you can do. Construction and composition. I mean, the composition is pretty spot on. I like the composition. Even though you had to crop it, I really think you did a good job here. I mean, maybe you could get a little bit more of the building, but it feels like we're in the middle of nowhere. That's my only issue. Uh, yeah, construct. Okay, okay, okay. Hold on. Okay. Um, I'll give it a 9 for construction, assuming you built it yourself. I'm that's very generous, but it's trains mobile, so like normal stuff is very good, very hard to make. Uh, composition. Yeah, I really like the composition. The only thing not done is sort of playing with. I mean, the only thing that I see wrong is just that it feels like the trees are encroaching on everything. You could have left some more space, some more background. I'll give you an 8. Story 5. Um, eh, it's really more of a caption than a story. I'd like more than that. Is the thing. Like it's perfectly fine, but it's only one statement. World, I'll give it an 8. Again with the trees. Relevancy. That's a 10. It's an easy 10. As far as this goes, you didn't title this properly. So I'm giving you an 8. Bonus. Blue Comet, those damn tractors, that damn building, and also doing a screenshot on Trains Mobile. 7 plus 7 plus 9 plus 8 plus 8 plus 5 plus 8 plus 10 plus 8 plus 4. 74. Still impressive. Okay, and we're done. I'm glad we're done here. Thanks, guys, for coming. We had a great showing, great output. Just gonna scroll right by that one. Let's look at. Ask around if you're a little confused. Nothing has to be a secret. This is 85. This one is an 85. So these two tied, which that's very pretty, very nice. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Eastbound and Down. Thank you, Kaiser. Thanks, East. Thank you, Braden. Thank you, Matt. Oh, I haven't been paying attention totally to the scores. This one is currently winning with 87 points. And I mean, it's the winner. We're done. We're not grading any other ones, right? We're done here. We're done. We're not done. Oh, this also is at 87 points. 84 points. What is all this content? What is all this stuff? I don't even know where it came from. I don't even know what's going on. I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm afraid. I can't even reopen it. Story, 10. This is insanity. It's insanity! What have you written? And why is it so good? Why? How does anyone have this much chaotic energy and not end up in a life like Shelby and Dean? Like, why is everything not breaking around you? What? You're... Why is the RDC here? How can you exist? Ryan, how? Why? What? Like, who? I don't even know if I can give it a world score. You said, oh, you'll take your 7 for world. How do I grade this? It is not of our world. It's conjunction junction. Oh my god. I'm gonna, I'm just glad you guys are all here with me for this. Because if I had pre-recorded this, I'd be losing my mind alone. And you know what? Just for that, nobody said anything about this. Okay? I'm detouring from this because I can't stomach. I can't. My mental power is not there right now. No one said anything about the open TTD open on my bar. If anyone had said a word about it, you know what I would have said? It's a multiplayer game. It's been open since I started the stream. It's now 1909. I'm a spectator. I'm the only person in here. It's called virtual photograph competition. Oh, I'm so stupid. I was gonna make it public when I was gonna make it public when somebody said anything. That's been there. If anyone had said, "Why do you have OpenTTD open?" I would say, it's because I have a multiplayer game. I'm just glad I got one. I'm gonna restart it. I'm gonna restart it. I'm not gonna keep it open because uh it's been like 9 years of chaos and nobody said anything, and maybe I'll come back to that later in the night, but I've got other things I gotta do. I gotta put up a Christmas tree and stuff. I will restart that scenario. I don't drink caffeine. I'll restart that when we're done with this in just a little while. Every time I tabbed over to a new picture, the OpenTTD came up on the screen for just a second, and no one has said a goddamn word. Uh, so, actually, this stream even started with it open. So, world. Um, sure, you know what? I'll give you your 7. This is not an indication for other people to say, um, like start giving yourself scores in the description. Don't do that. I'm giving you an 8 for relevancy because you've got a couple of expresses, and you do. This is not about them though. It's just they're there. This guy is an express. He's here. He's called out at least. This isn't about him. Okay. Completeness. It's 10. Bonus. Bonus points. Bonus for this truck. Bonus point for Kodachrome Pen Central. Please tell me that wasn't a real thing. But bonus point for this, and I don't want to know what it is. Bonus point for Horseman character and F40. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the Bangor Rustic. 7 for it being conjunction junction and being accurate. Can I give it anything else? Yeah, the and button or cars. I'm not giving it any more. That's it. We're stopping right there. 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 9 plus 9 plus 10 plus 7 plus 8 plus 10 plus 8. That's a score of 91. Ryan, you've done it again. You've done it again. Congratulations. I think that I don't think that's a new high score. I think there's a score of like 93 up here somewhere. We'd have to go back and see. I should make a spreadsheet. Then thank you all for coming to this 7th iteration of the screenshot contest. Oh right, there was that. 82, 83. Maybe I was thinking of an 83. Maybe there hasn't been a 90 something before. Also, this got a 58. This is how you can tell I've gone soft. Because this got a 58. And, yeah, I don't know. This got a 57. Yeah, I've gone soft. I'm giving out way too high of scores right now. Next one, I'm going to be mean. Find me in a bad mood. I'm just scrolling back up. Yeah, I think the score is... Yeah, no, I'm not going to scroll all the way through these. Point is, I think, oh wait, this was Tyler's. That was an 88. Okay, yeah, if that didn't, yeah. thank you everyone for participating in this edition of the Iron Horseman screenshot competition. Um, I appreciate all the submissions, and for everyone who didn't get to submit but was trying to or wanted to make something, I hope next time it comes around you have the opportunity. These happen once every blue moon or so. Last one was, I think, in March or April or something before this. I mean, let me just check. They're not on a regular schedule. Yeah, it was in April. They're not on a regular schedule. It is whenever I feel like we have the opportunity to do one, because setting aside time to do this is, substantial for a lot of people, but also for me. And this is like, I'll throw this in when we don't have royales or anything to do. Which did the vote finish, by the way? It did. It was Merger Mania. Okay. Well, I'm gonna end this stream. I'm gonna go and start a open TTD game. It's gonna be called Iron Horseman Community, and it's yeah, it's gonna run for a while. I think I will just like pause it at night or something, cause yeah, I don't have a way to have it auto pause. Wait, maybe I can figure out how to make a headless server. I'm rambling. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you. This is the Admiral signing off. Well, I'm low in the frames. Why am I all the way down here?